Hi, it's Keith from the Evangelical Free Church, Stony Stratford. Have you ever felt you've got to make a statement of intent? My wife and I did at one time. We were out giving out leaflets for invites to our Easter services at the church I was pastor of before I came here. And there was a political party giving out leaflets and they started to shadow us. And I went across to the guy who was standing very close to my wife's wheelchair and I said, look, we're not a political party, we're not competing with you, could you move? Because we were here and we don't want to be seen as with you or partisan in any way. Well, he was very brusque to me and I thought, well, life's too short, we'll move. As soon as we'd done it, would you know it, the actual candidate came up right behind my wife's wheelchair and started giving out leaflets. And I went across to reason with him. Well, he was again very brusque with me. And I said to Tracy, right, let's give them a taste of their own medicine. So we went and we stood in front of their stall. They were furious. They threatened us with the police. I pointed out the police could probably do with a laugh and how would it look when it was put on the front of the local paper that this political party had harassed a pastor and his handicapped wife. Well, they very quickly backed down. They'd got the message. We'd made our statement of intent. We weren't going to be pushed around anymore by them. Jesus makes a statement of intent here. He's entering Jerusalem. It's the Passover, and he sends his disciples ahead of him, saying to them, go into the village ahead of you, and just as you enter it, you will find a colt tied there, which no one has ever ridden. Untie it, bring it here, and if anyone asks you, why are you doing this, tell him the Lord needs it, and I will send it back shortly. So off they go, and they find the donkey, the young donkey, just as Jesus has said, and when people question them, they give them Jesus' answer. It's obviously not donkey rustling. Jesus has obviously made some arrangements. Now, Jesus then rides this into Jerusalem, and we read in verse 8, many people spread their cloaks on the road, and others spread branches they had cut from in the fields. Those who went ahead and those who followed shouted, Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David. Hosanna in the highest. What are they actually saying? Well, they're quoting Psalm 118 verses 25 and 26. They may not completely understand who Jesus is, but they see him as someone important and special. Son of David. Hosanna means save us. Now, after this incredible outpouring of joy and praise, we read that Jesus went to the temple, had a quick look around, but being late, he then went out to Bethany, where he was lodging with the 12. Now, that might seem a bit of an anticlimax, but the temple would actually be the site of some major encounters between Jesus and the religious leaders over the next 4 chapters. But what is Jesus saying in this statement of intent? Well, firstly, he's chosen a donkey that's never been ridden. Now, only animals that had never been used in any way before could be used for sacred purposes. So Jesus is saying something about himself. Secondly, the people who saw Jesus ride into Jerusalem in this way would have thought immediately of an Old Testament prophecy. In Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9, it says this, rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion, shout, daughter of Jerusalem, see your king comes to you righteous and having salvation, gentle and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. They're crying out to the king. They're crying out to one to save them. They may not have got the full picture, but they were saying more than they knew. This week in Jerusalem, these few days in Jerusalem, are about Jesus saving us. How does he save us? Well, in the letter to Colossian church, Paul writes this. This is Colossians 1, verses 21 to 22. Once you were alienated from God and were enemies in your minds because of your evil behaviour. But now he has reconciled you by Christ's physical body through death to present you holy in his sight, without blemish and free from accusation. That is what Jesus' death will do. It will take people who are alienated from God, they're as far away from God as they can possibly be, and bring them into his presence. He will literally, through his body and through his death, change us. He will give us a righteousness. This is what we read in 2 Corinthians 5:21. A righteousness from God. And everything we were, everything that would have separated from God, will have been dealt with when we come to Jesus and ask forgiveness for our wrongdoing and our rejection of him. That is how Jesus can save us. Now, if you'd like to follow these messages and you haven't got a Bible around, please take one of these from in front of the church. It's a little Gospel of Mark, and it will allow you to follow through what we're doing. And also in these troubled times, don't hesitate to take something else that's there if you want it. And that's Where is God When Things Go Wrong? It's looking at why evil things happen in the world. Very, very relevant in our current situation. If you can't get to Stony and get to the front of the church where these are in holders, you can always email me or you can ring me. Take care and thanks for watching.